October marks the International Day of Rural Women, which is also a reminder that climate disasters hit rural women the hardest. Globally, 80% of those displaced by climate change are women, many losing livelihoods tied to land and water. But there is hope for women in Sri Lanka. Over 1 million MSMEs now stand to benefit from the very first Climate Resilience Revolving Fund under the National CDRFI vision. Led by Chrysalis with global partners, it boosts preparedness and resilience. I caught up with Deshani Herath to discuss this on Kaleidoscope Dialogues. What are the climate-induced disasters facing MSMEs?
Most obvious disasters are linked with the very heavy rain periods. So most of the MSC businesses, their operations, assets get impacted by the floods and landslides. But there are different type of disasters that are not actually very visible, but such as like the extreme heat or fungal infections due to heavy humidity period due to the long prolonged rain periods. So this will be impacted on the agriculture MSMEs as well as textile MSMEs. Especially we have identified that extreme heat is becoming a huge problem for the MSMEs. We have some case studies in our garment textile area that the productivity of the labor productivity is going reducing during the daytime of the period because of the heat. So there are so many actually impacts, but these are the main concerns for the MSMEs at the moment in Sri Lanka.
How will this fund actually address the challenges faced by MSMEs?
We have identified that there is not a particular tailor-made financial instrument for MSMEs to recover from the climate-induced disasters. Therefore, we thought that it is better to develop such product and pilot test and see how this mechanism can be connected with the existing scenarios in the ground level and check the reality how this is going to work.
This is a revolving mechanism. So how are repayments and reinvestments structured to ensure continued sustainability and support for MSMEs?
The initial beneficiaries of this fund will be the registered MSMEs in the district consortiums. So in a situation of a disaster, this revolving fund is to act as a recovery fund for the needed MSMEs, and also it has to be quick as possible as it can be, and it has to be very hassle free, and it should be a very low cost product. So that's the main ultimate goal of this Climate Resilience Revolving Fund. So to enable it to be sustained, we have introduced the fund. There's a repayment mechanisms, how the mechanism should be worked on. We have provided those information in the revolving fund guideline. So we were requesting them post-dated checks for the period of the revolving fund, their loan amount term. So this fund is going to the MSMEs as a loan. So there is like 6-month loan period and the 1-year loan period. So this time period they have to provide the post-dated checks, because we have to enable the sustainability. We cannot be stop the fund by once the first loan cycle will be finished. So there is a mechanism is there. We have provided them trainings and capacity buildings to the SME consortiums, how to manage this fund as in a very subtle way, but have to be obtain the sustainability of fund as well.
Let's look at the Uva and Central provinces, two provinces that are very vulnerable to climate impacts. What are the mechanisms that you have in place to ensure that these MSMEs in these provinces can actually access the fund?
We have 4 consortiums in Badulla, Nuwara, Matale and Monaragala districts. This particular fund is developed to gain the practical local experience from the ground level to go for the proper sustainable risk transfer mechanisms in future. Provided them with the trainings and capacity buildings, how to access the fund, the process of the fund, and everything will also in line right now at the moment. Since the fund management is done by the consortium itself, but the fund is actually guided by the GA office and Chrysalis. Therefore, the whole process is transparent to all. So anyone can come and require, and if any information we can provide them, and also the consortium is liable to provide monthly, quarterly and annual reports to the GA office and also for the Chrysalis as well.
Deshani, are there any tailored training or capacity building initiatives in place?
When we develop this Climate Resilience Revolving Fund, we have done several capacity building and trainings for these MSMEs to identify what is their actual need and concern, and also to give them aware about what is climate change, how it impacted on their businesses, and also we have given them financial literacy training because these are business management people, entrepreneurs, so they need to know that knowledge. Apart from the SME consortium, we are working with the multi-actor partnership in each of the districts that we are working in. This partnership consists with district secretariat, disaster management sector, SED, NEDA, IDB, and also regional banks and financial institutions, insurance providers. So this multi-actor partnership also acts as a capacity building platform for the MSMEs. Whenever they need any requirement, they can go up to them and require any training from this multi-actor partnership. And also we are currently working very closely with them to capacitate these MSMEs.
How would you evaluate how quickly an MSME would recover post-disaster? What are the improvements to make for resilience, and also the recovery cost? How would you reduce that?
In the current situation, there are no baseline data related to the climate and disaster risk financing and insurance. So once this Climate Resilience Revolving Fund is in progress, we can compare the recovery performance of the receivers of the fund as well with the people who didn't receive the fund. So that data can be gained from this revolving fund once we test out the first loan cycle. So these findings can be incorporated into the future learnings, and then we can go for a proper way of how to incorporate this into the better CDRFI mechanisms when we go for a proper insurance product development in the latter phase of the fund.
How does this fund align with Sri Lanka's broader climate and disaster risk financing and insurance framework?
Currently, the CDRFI is a bit of a novel area for the climate change sector, I might say. We do have crop insurance under the Agriculture and Agrarian Insurance Board, but it is related to disaster, but it is not particularly related to the climate-induced disasters. And also there is a little bit difference between the way the insurance mechanism is working under crop insurance and what we expected under the CDRFI insurance product. And also in recently NAP is revising National Adaptation Plan of Sri Lanka and the National Determined Contributions of Sri Lanka. So these also incorporated the CDRFI, especially the risk insurance into their plans and policies. And also we have this climate investment plan currently developing by ADB with the collaboration with the Climate Change Secretariat. So, and also adaptation fund is also right now they are in the process of developing. So we can incorporate, there is a high chance that we can incorporate CDRFI concept into these. And also Chrysalis, as Chrysalis, we are now working closely with the National Entrepreneurs Development Authority. They are the ones who is currently revising the SME, National SME policy of Sri Lanka. So we are looking for the ways that where we can incorporate CDRFI, because it is a hugely important topic that businesses are actually facing the climate-induced disasters, and it's really impacted them and their businesses. So we are going to incorporate this CDRFI mechanism into this newly revising national SME policy as well. We are looking for ways how we can do it right now, so we are going on discussions with NEDA as well.
Is there potential to scale up? Is there potential to replicate similar resilience-based financial instruments?
Before we have to scale up, we have to see the MSMEs has to, in their eyes, need to see this as a successful tool for them. So all depend on them, like, because we are developing this for them, and if they see this as a very successful tool, it will really help their businesses to, and also to grow their businesses. Then there is a huge potential for us to scale up this and to develop this into a proper CDRFI insurance mechanism in the future. After the first cycle, we have to go through a monitoring and evaluation scenario to identify where are the gaps, where are the challenges, and what are the positive ways we can improve this. So once we have done it, I'm pretty sure that we can develop a very good climate and disaster risk financing and insurance product in future.
Lots of work to do.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Find Kaleidoscope on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Follow, like and subscribe to stay in the loop.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Silico Life.